AITA for not letting my parents to be involved grandparents because they chose my sister's friend over me. I, 25F, am pregnant with my first child. A few weeks ago, my estranged parents found out through someone in my hometown and immediately reached out, excited to be grandparents and wanted to be involved. I ignored them. I kept ignoring them until 2 days ago when I finally replied, making it clear in no uncertain terms that they would never know my child or be part of our lives. I told them to stop contacting me. Since then, they've been blowing up my email, sending multiple messages within minutes, telling me I'm taking things too far and that it's unfair because Luna isn't even in the picture anymore. Let me explain why that doesn't matter. I have an older sister, Sam, 28F, who had a best friend named Luna. They met in pre-K and were inseparable. As a kid, I didn't really question why Luna was at our house all the time. She was just always there. But as I got older, I realized Luna wasn't just my sister's best friend. She was my worst nightmare. From a very young age, Luna made it her mission to bully me. She called me names, mocked me whenever I wanted to hang out with her and Sam, and threw things at me just for fun. She even made a game out of spitting at me, laughing as she kept score of how many times she could hit me. My parents knew. They did nothing. When I was around 7, they sat me down and told me I needed to be understanding because Luna had a rough home life. They said she was mean, but that she needed us. I needed to be patient. And most importantly, I needed to understand that she was so important to Sam and that she would grow out of it if we just showed her love. Spoiler, she did not grow out of it. Luna wasn't just a casual presence in my life. She was fully integrated into our family. She came along to family dinners, vacations, and celebrations. My parents treated her like their second daughter, while I was just there. One of the worst moments happened at a family gathering when I was about 9. My parents didn't mention to anyone that Luna was coming, so we ended up short a chair at the dinner table. Luna took my chair. Then, in front of everyone, she smirked and said, "Guess there's no room for you, just like there's no room for you anywhere. Maybe go cry in a corner or something." I did, but that was the moment my extended family took notice. My grandparents, my mom's parents, specifically, were horrified. They pulled me aside, asked what was going on, and I told them everything. After that, my mom's parents laid into my parents like I had never seen before. And when my dad's parents heard about it, they joined in. My parents were humiliated. For a little while, things got slightly better. My grandparents kept a close eye on my parents, calling me weekly to check in and make sure that little menace wasn't coming over. And I think that external pressure was the only reason my parents tried to put some distance between Luna and our household. But that didn't last. When I was 12, my parents dropped the ultimate bombshell. Luna was moving in with us. Apparently, her home situation had gotten worse. My parents told me she would be living with us indefinitely, that we needed to make her feel welcome, and that she had even promised to apologize to me. Her apology? A half-assed sorry, I guess. That was it. And then, almost immediately, she was back to making fun of me when my parents weren't around. She laughed with my sister about how betrayed I had looked when I found out she was moving in. She thought it was hilarious. I broke down. I couldn't take it anymore. I went straight to my grandparents and told them everything. How Luna was now living in my home, how nothing had changed, and how my parents had chosen her over me. My grandparents lost their minds. They went nuclear on my parents, calling them out for prioritizing a stranger over their own daughter. The fighting lasted for weeks, maybe months. I don't even know everything that was said, but I do know one thing. My grandparents gave my parents an ultimatum. Either Luna left, or I did. And guess what? My parents chose Luna. They wouldn't kick her out. They refused. So my grandparents took me in, and from that point on, they were my real parents. Once I moved out, I went completely no contact with my parents. Not once did they try to check in on me. Not once did they ask to visit. They made their choice, and I accepted it. Years went by. I built a life for myself. I met my partner. I got pregnant. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, my parents were back, wanting to be excited grandparents. Are you kidding me? They chose to abandon me. They chose to replace me with Luna. And now, just because I'm having a baby, they want back in? No. I told them in one single email that they would never meet my child, that they would never be part of our lives, and that I wanted them to stop contacting me. I thought that would be the end of it. Instead, they've been sending me email after email, trying to guilt trip me. They keep saying that I'm taking things too far, that Luna isn't even in the picture anymore, and that it was so long ago. But they never apologized. Not once. They never admitted they were wrong. They never acknowledged what they did to me. And even if they did, it wouldn't change a damn thing. I have a real family now. I have my grandparents, my partner, and soon my child. My parents made their choice. Now, I'm making mine. So Reddit, AITA,